Hoffman.
An inmate at Airway Heights Correction Center. This call will be recorded and monitored. If you wish to block any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now. To accept this call, press 5 now. To decline this call, hang up. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, Mr. Hoffman, the recorder's going now. Can we cover everything that you want covered for the public to know about anything that's happened this morning? And can we just start from the scratch on what you want the public to know?
Here is the deal. I just received from my counselor here at the prison a restraining order of some sort concerning Corey and Joshua Millard, that I am somehow restrained from contact from them. I've never been able to have any contact with them, so why would it make any difference now, except that they're trying to use this as an appearance to make them appear to be some kind of victim. And there is no way that in this life or any other that I could make them appear to be a victim, being a prisoner myself.
How many times in your life have you ever heard of a prisoner who spent 32 years in prison being served a restraining order? I mean, you're in prison, for God's sakes. How in the world does that make any sense, you getting a restraining order? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that they're wasting the court's time. And this information that they've put out over the internet, they're trying to cover themselves now because they made a terrible mistake. They threatened a Holland citizen. They threatened a Texas citizen. They threatened a prisoner incarcerated. And they carried out their threat through the DOC. And whoever it was out there found out that I had standing and they were in trouble, and so whoever it was called them and threatened their life because they're trying to bring you down, they're trying to bring me down. They don't want the system to work properly the way it's supposed to be, that the innocent go free and the guilty are punished. They want it the other way around. They want it both ways. They want to have the innocent as sacrificial lambs, and they want the guilty punished too. And they don't seem to understand that with that system, sooner or later, it turns around and bites them, because that's how they want it.
What can people do? What can people do as far as capturing whatever they've stated? Because I know they're on certain blog sites and they're saying disparaging remarks about you, and they're claiming they're getting death threats. And of course, I know you didn't do that. Your phone calls are recorded. I certainly didn't do that, and I know Agnes did not do that. So, what can people do to help you in this situation if they want to help?
They can listen to what we have to say at your website, and they can understand that this is a group of people that are supporting corrupt police officers that have been cajoled or lied to in such a way that they believe that the court system is 100% effective and does not incarcerate innocent people. And we all know that that is a lie. That is an untruth.
Amen.
It is so that they want to maintain this because, look, if they let me out, I've got 32 years of imprisonment for something that I didn't do. Somebody owes me damages for taking my life illegally and not doing it, and that's what they're afraid of. It isn't about right or wrong. They've had an opportunity to do the right thing and uplift their father by finding the real murderer in this case. And the idea that, oh, we can't have him doing some kind of criminal act because it's not going to look good and this and that. Lou Millard doesn't care. He's dead and gone. He's already gone through this life. But the thing is, if there is an afterlife, Josh should be listening to his father, because his father is speaking through me and through others, saying that this is not the man that killed me. You need to find the true killer so that my bones can rest. And they don't understand that. They don't care about that. They want it this way.
Now, you've told me that you believe John Dick is the one who took out Lou Millard because Lou Millard knew some information and was covering up some drug trafficking underneath the police officer's supervision, and that Lou Millard, they didn't want Lou Millard to expose that?
I don't have any absolute proof, but what I do have is this. There was no reason for them to come there that night. There was no reason for them to try to arrest my sisters and stuff that night, yet they did. And they found out that my youngest sister had the keys to the house. So there was an opportunity to make a plan to go and get us, because the girls said that they had let us off and we were traveling to home. And I had told the receptionist at the hospital that was where we were going, and we did not deviate from that. Why would we have to deviate from that if the police were doing their job, and rightfully so? We have protection under their auspices, even though they may think that we have done a crime. We still are protected. They had no business going there with guns drawn and shooting at us. It's stated in court. Sheila Cleveland was the presiding tribal judge. She stood and watched the whole thing unfold from her log at 2:30 in the morning. And she was asked to put charges against my dad and I, and she said no, they did nothing wrong. The first shots came from where the police had positioned themselves. So, in this instance, Dad claims to be shot first. John Dick claims to be shot first. John Dick claims that he got shot from behind. Now, if I was between John Dick and Lou Millard, doesn't it seem logical that I would have been shot myself?
Now say that again.
I was on the other end of the chicken coop.
Yeah.
And John Dick stepped in front of the shot that Lou Millard made to shoot Dad. And it passed through John Dick and my father in the chest. John Dick turned around and returned fire. The gunshots, time of the incident when the gunshots started, went like this. Pow, 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 pow. The first 6 shots. And Dad said that he shot 3 times only. So there are 3 shots there. But those were aluminum hollow point in that weapon. There was no other weapon. There was no other involvement. What came out of Lou Millard's body was a .357 Magnum or 38 caliber. It's the bullet projectile is twice as long as a 9mm, and it's not aluminum hollow point, it was full metal jacket. So it can't be from the gun that they alleged killed Lou Millard.
Well, you said they showed up at 2:30 in the morning. Did I hear the time frame right?
Yes.
2:30 in the morning they show up. That's a really odd time to come and implement an arrest warrant. I thought Josh said he left like a campground. I mean, that wouldn't be going on at 2:30 in the morning.
That Josh is storing because Ferry County is in Republic, the fairgrounds, and that is 75 miles away. And they're not able to camp there until a week before the Ferry County Fair. Okay? Now, there's no way that they could be setting up camp there because it wasn't open. The fairgrounds wasn't open, and they didn't have any business being there. So having him come there.
Yeah, I got you.
This happened on August 27th. That is more than 5 days away from when they can open the campground so that people can go in. All of that stuff was based on the promise that his father had made to him that, yeah, I'll take you to the fairground, I'll take you to the fair, this and that and that and that. Lou Millard was trying to get through this. And he talked to us 2 weeks before any of this ever occurred. And he said that he had a dossier on the tribal council and on others in the tribal organization. And he was trying to get free of that. And they would not let him go free. That tells me that this was a setup, and they threw it all together in the little mixing jar, and whoever got killed, so much the better. They could explain it a lot better, and the tribal council could go on with their corrupt businesses and their drug dealings and their running gold out of the reservation onto the U.S. lands that eventually ended up in the Twin Towers when 9/11 went down.
What about the statement that that land that you're talking about that had gold and other minerals or whatever has never been mined? Do you have evidence that it has been mined?
It had not been mined to then. The council put forth Don Overton, who was a geologist that claimed to be no relation to Al Overton, who was a council member at the time. I don't believe that. Number one, it was supposed to be a molybdenum project for steel. It was supposed to be for 50 years, and it was supposed to put to work 500 people on the reservation. Instead, it didn't go for 5 years. It didn't go for 2.5 years. It went long enough for them to take out the gold out of the project in the mountain and to take it and send it to a refinery, and then everything was closed down. They had a 99-year lease on it. The lease is still going, and there are still guards there that will not let people walk the mining area to see what was done there. It's all hush, 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 hush all the time.
I see. I want to let you know I did send an email to Tribal Tribune, and I asked them for the veterans photo of Elmer McGinnis. We'll see if they respond. So I did try to reach out to them. And also, at 2:30 in the morning, your father was shot that night. You thought your father was going to die. You had no idea. You had no idea, yeah.
Yes.
So
I was with him until what I thought was the end. I put him up on my back and packed him up out of there. 400 yards up a hill that was steeper than a cow's face, and laid him down because he asked to be laid down. And there were quaking aspen next to the water tower, quaking aspen between us and the water tower, and he wanted to lay down there. So I laid him down there, and he pulled me close, and he says, "You're going to have to leave. I'm done for. They shot me, and I'm not going to make it." And he kind of relaxed and went out, and I couldn't revive him. I couldn't hear a heartbeat. I couldn't hear anything. But I remembered my first aid training for something like that, and I elevated his feet, and I pulled up his clothing and stuff, and I tried to wake him up one more time. Dad, Dad, and nothing. So I did what I had to do to get out of there, like he suggested. And when I
Yeah, amen. Amen.
And they mistook it as me saying that Lou Millard had died. Thank God. That's what they put in there. And nobody tried to do any different about it whatsoever. No understanding that they had no reason to be there because they'd already extinguished the warrant 3 days before that in trying to arrest Elmer in the council chambers, and there was no other paperwork. There was no reason for them to try to pick him up. He had been released and had been under his own recognizance for at least 72 hours in the hospital. And they had not put any police there because he didn't do anything wrong. Then all of a sudden, something's got to change here because we're looking at a police brutality suit, and we're looking at if this goes the way it is and stuff. After the shooting and stuff, they looked at it and, oh my goodness, they'll have conspiracy to commit murder of a tribal member here if we don't arrest them and put them in jail first and convict them. So that's why the $50,000 was paid to Okanagan County. Okanagan County refused to take us on first because otherwise, why would they turn us over to the federal? When I turned myself in, why would they turn us over to the FBI and the bureau officer and send me to Spokane to sit out 6 weeks there? And then return me back to Okanagan County after they paid the $50,000.
No, we only got two and a half minutes. Can you clarify who paid who $50,000 again? Tell me what's
the tribal council paid $50,000 to Okanagan County to have us convicted.
Oh, okay.
They claimed that it was a donation because the Okanagan County didn't have the funds to try us. Well, they could. Either they can or they can't.
I see.
Putting that money there like that is the same as saying, look, we can do whatever we want to, and nobody's going to tell us any different.
Right.
We're going to run these people through the combine, and we'll see who comes out the fodder.
I got you. That seems a very conflict of interest for the tribe to pay the county to prosecute somebody. Let me ask you this restraining order that you got, we only got a few minutes, Mr. Hoffman. How do you interpret that? I mean, you're already in prison. Why would anybody send a restraining order to somebody who's 32 years in prison? I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
It makes sense if you're the one that's been perpetrating the offenses against somebody that's been in prison, and you got caught, and you have to backtrack in order to make it look like they were doing something, and there's no way that they can make me look like I'm doing something because I'm locked in a cell 24/7.
Yeah.
I don't have...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I don't have any contact with either of them. I've never had any contact with either of them.
Yeah.
They are trying to make it look like they're the victims again, and they're not.
Yeah.
They're not victims.
Yeah.
They can't be victims because nothing has been done to them. They've ran their mouth and threatened you and threatened Agnes and threatened everybody else.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
And they did things through officials here that were illegal. And that was to have me searched and have everything ransacked and have things taken, trying to provoke me. And it didn't work. And now they've found out that they're up for hate crimes. So they've got to try to stop that.
I see. It's just incredible. Our prayers are with you, Mr. Hoffman, and we'll continue to advocate for your freedom and your innocence, and I hope you keep your sanity. I can't imagine the hell that you're going through every day. Mr. Hoffman?
Pat Hoffman.
An inmate at Airway Heights Correction Center. This call will be recorded and monitored. If you wish to block any future calls of this nature, dial 7 now. To accept this call, press 5 now. To decline this call, thank you.
So, anyway, this is why, sir, I was asking you to gather the same things that you have said to me the last few days about Josh Millard threatening you and threatening me that he was going to contact people here at Airway Heights and have my time made more troublesome. That was carried out. And to have this other one that was the ghost of this one or that one who claimed that he had done the same thing to at least 5 other individuals. Those things are important because those are hate crimes that involve a conspiracy between those people and the Department of Corrections or Department of Corruptions, as this case may be. And I know Stevens County judges. They're stiff-necked as hell, but they won't go for anybody claiming to be something that they're not. And in this manner, they're trying to claim that they're victims when they're not. There's no possible way that there could be any connection other than what they take the opportunity to make a connection with. They were offered the opportunity to uplift their father or father-in-law, as the case may be, and they chose not to because it was easier to claim that the jury did their job and found the man guilty of the crime. Well, I'm sorry about that, but my attorney, Mr. Richard Price, has been trying to get me free all the time that I've been locked up. Every 3 years he's put in a petition for clemency to the governor at the time and has received no response whatsoever at any time from that. Not even a thank you or anything like that, because this is a corrupt organization and my incarceration has been paid for in advance. So they're not going to change that unless we come up with the attorney that has the capability to show that everything that I say is true. And everything that I say is true is this, that the bullets that came out of Lou Millard's body were not bullets that came out of the weapon that they claim we destroyed. They destroyed the weapon because it was exculpatory and would have proven, had it gone under forensics, that this was not the weapon that killed Lou Millard. And it would then show that the prosecution was making a case out of thin air, manufacturing evidence and destroying evidence to make it appear the way they wanted it to appear. Now, I have a way to stop that, which is to chase down the destruction of the weapon through the FBI labs. They have to give an accounting for every weapon that is destroyed. And that weapon has a serial number. And the serial number was entered in court on a document that was the bill of sale for the weapon from Kenneth Ramble to me. And they tried to bury all of this with this one lie over another, like the shingles on a house. And it's gone to the point to where the ones that helped in this in the beginning are not there anymore. And they have no reason to not file or place in our hands the paperwork that shows that the FBI destroyed the weapon.
Can you remind me the the type of weapon? I know you said it before, an Intertech, or?
It's an Interdynamics KG-99.
Okay, great, right. Now, my question is it abnormal for the FBI to destroy a weapon like that that's involved in a case like yours? Is it abnormal for them to destroy a weapon like that?
If it appears that law enforcement is going to look bad because of it, yes, it is. Because they don't want law enforcement to look bad. Law enforcement has to look like they're doing the lawful deed always. And if it looks like they're committing criminal action, people will not place their trust in them. And things will start happening like they are now, today. People are being murdered on a daily basis by police officers. And to that point and to that end, in the United States, the suicide rate for police officers and prosecutors has gone up. It's tripled in the last 5 years. That should say something, that there are things going on that are being done by officers that they can no longer abide with any other way, and so they commit suicide in order to leave this life.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that the policemen of this of our current, there's a book titled the Rise of the Warrior Cop. I'm going to try to get you a copy, Mr. Hoffman. It talks about the militarization of America's police forces.
Well, I've said this before about the FBI, and I can't remember the year exactly, but it was between 1992 and 96, or thereabouts, where the head forensics officer at Quantico, Virginia, for the FBI stepped forward before ABC and CBS and NBC and CNN and said, I can no longer abide with doing this job. I am resigning today, as of right now, because there is too much fabrication of statements to support prosecutorial alleged evidence in order to convict people in a fraudulent manner. This has been done in at least 50 cases, he quoted, at least 50 major cases that the FBI had been working on.
Do you remember his title or his name or what year that was said? Because I would love to go back and find that.
I can't remember his name.
Was it FBI director? What was he the FBI?
Listen, it's in the archives. Those newspapers have that. If you put a search engine on it for that, you will find it.
Okay. All right.
I heard it when I was in prison at Walla Walla. So I know that it was before 2000.
Okay.
I know that it was before Penny and I separated because we were having extended family visits.
Okay.
So it's in that time frame between 1992 and 1998.
Okay.
In that time frame, if you look for the resignation of the FBI forensics expert at Quantico, Virginia, there will be on those in one of the archives, if not all of them, because I looked at the channels at the time, and it was the same thing on every channel, on ABC, on NBC, on CBS, and in CNN.
Right here.
Okay.
That this man was resigning because he could no longer condone his actions in the 50 major cases where evidence was either fabricated or storyline was fabricated to best suit the prosecution. And it ranged from Leonard Peltier's conviction to ours.
Right.
we were part of that deal there. So that tells me that what went down in the first place, where the prosecution sent the paperwork request for what killed Lou Millard, and it came back 38-357, shot from a Smith & Wesson revolver. And when Jack Burchard got it, when he came in there, oh no, this can't be so. They were shooting a 9mm. Well, let's take a look at the search warrant. We never got to see the search warrant. We never got to see the actual paperwork that showed where casings were picked up or this or that. It was all a rigmarole that this was shot there and that was shot there, and they never actually pinned down anything because they couldn't. If they did, somewhere along the lie would show, and they had to try to shuffle their feet and dance around, and they went through six and a half weeks at the tribal chambers, at the tribal police department, shuffling who was where and how they were going to state this and state that, and all the things that they worked out were to keep the police department looking like they were doing their job, and to make us look like we were guilty of something. But I told you in the beginnings, if what they said about us having a plan to kill police officers were true, at 8:30 in the evening when John Dick drove by us on the road, I had a golden opportunity to end his life if that's the way I was supposed to be doing, and nobody would have been the wiser, and he would have been gone. But no, that's not the true case, because we were only trying to avoid a confrontation with them, because we knew that they were acting stupid, acting out of sorts. That's why I sent the girls back, and we got out of the vehicle to get a hold of Elmer's attorney, Bill Cottrell, and find out what the hell was going on. Bill Cottrell had called Mr. Woodyfield, the tribal prosecutor, and asked him why this was continuing, and he said, "Oh, I don't have control over them," and that's crazy, because they were told to stand down by the superior officer, and they refused to. Now, Woodyfield had the authority to tell them to stop, cease and desist, or I'll have you placed behind bars. No, he didn't want to do that, because then he would be going against the tribal council's wishes, which was to exterminate us and anybody else that was in the situation, and then they have a golden opportunity to explain it as the Lou Millard massacre and this and that, and we had made plans. Never mind the fact that one of the officers that was wounded was a desk officer and hadn't been on the beat for 18 years, and the other officer worked in 2 districts away from where he got shot that night. Absent that information, how could we even formulate a plan to have those officers there? It's impossible. So without that ability, they can't try us for first-degree premeditated murder. You can't premeditate something 2 seconds before it happens.
What was your eventual charge? What did you get convicted on?
First-degree premeditated aggravated murder.
Wow.
Police officer.
Wow.
And first-degree assault of a police officer. Now, the second charge was given to the jury first in order to desensitize them and allow them to find us guilty of something. Then it was easier for the jury to go ahead and find us guilty of the first-degree aggravated murder.
You got convicted of premeditated murder? Is that true?
Yes.
But yeah, like you said, that's impossible because they're the ones who came to your house. How could you have premeditated anything?
The prosecution was supposed to provide evidence beyond a reasonable doubt that we had planned this. Up until that time, when the prosecution ended their case, they couldn't even say through a witness that we were even there. They had no witnesses that proved that we were there other than the statement by Epperson saying to him that, yeah, we were there. Other than that, they didn't have anybody saying, yeah, I saw Hoffman there and I saw McGinnis there and they had guns in their hand and they shot these officers. Because that wasn't so. The truth of the matter is in the testimony by Sheila Cleveland, judge of the tribal courts. She said they didn't do anything wrong. I can't press charges against them because they didn't do anything wrong. It was the first shots come from where the police had positioned themselves. Now, if the police are there without justification and they're shooting first, that is an unlawful assault. Pure and simple.
How does it work when you're on Indian tribal land and there's a shootout with the tribal police? Why does the United States federal government think they have jurisdiction to settle that matter? How does that work?
There's a thing called Public Law 280 that was supposed to be inaugurated in 1962. And the tribal council was offered $6 million to help with their police financing and things like that in putting Public Law 280 into effect. The problem was one of the things was that there had to be a tribal membership vote of 5/8 of the voting population from the previous election to put tribal council members in office, and that was supposed to be 3/4 of that was supposed to be for Public Law 280 being inaugurated on tribal lands. The tribal council of that time did the minutes from that council session stated that they knew that they could not get that vote. So they substituted the vote for the previous tribal council members for that, which is an unlawful act. They can't it goes against the grain of the law itself. You can't substitute one type of vote for another type of vote and have it valid. It has to be the vote that is required by the statute. And the statute requires that it have this vote by the tribal public. So,
okay.
They didn't do that, so there is no public law 280 on the reservation. They claim it is, but look at the Spokane tribe did the same thing, and one named Gary Flint was arrested and tried and convicted for first-degree rape. He got out 5 or 7 years later, and was his...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
His case was overturned because Public Law 280 did not have effect on that reservation either, because of what I had stated. They did the same thing. They substituted the vote for the tribal membership, and it was invalid, and it released that man.
I got you.
So I don't know how to state it any other way.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
I know that I'm innocent. I know that I didn't do anything wrong. I know that I didn't shoot and kill Millard. I know that I didn't shoot Officer John Dick.
Yeah.
If I did, there would have been 45 holes in both of them. Not 9mm.
Oh, you mean,
What
yeah.
came out of them.
Yeah.